When measuring on a large project that has the same spacing in multiple places, top and bottom, and you need to check measurements regularly, a hook ruler is a really good way to go. You just hook this on the end of your bar. It references the same way every single time you use it, and you can compare the marks you make. By making a mark at every element horizontally and using a second hook ruler for the vertical measurements and making marks for every element vertically, your reference remains the same. It doesn't matter at that point what the measurements are. Even if you're a hair off, when you can compare one side to the other, you're going to be comparing exactly the same mark both places. Trying to use a tape measure, they can be kind of floppy and wiggly. The hot iron, if you're measuring pieces right out of the forge, is really hard on your tape measure, and it's very easy to transpose numbers. If you're reading the tape measure this way one time and you turn it over the next time, it's easy to be on the wrong side of your mark when you're reading, and mistakes can and do happen. So a hook ruler helps eliminate some of those mistakes, and is a very handy way to go. You don't need to know what the measurements are. You don't need to do the math. You just hook it on the piece and say that goes there and that goes there. And I think it's a better way to measure while you're forging. You did all your tape measure and mathematical layouts when you made the drawing, so you don't need them at this point. So let's go make ourselves a hook ruler real quick. So a hook ruler of this sort is really simple. There's just no really big deal. I probably don't even have to show you how to make one, but just to make sure that we know what we're talking about, I'll go ahead and do that real quick. I like to use 1/8 by 3/4 flat bar for these. You can use just about anything as long as it will hold its shape at the length you need it. So if you're making 6 or 8 foot long ones for a big project, you might want to make them out of something heavier. Might be worth knocking the sharp edges off. You could grind or file this early before you forge it if you want to. And really, to a large degree, you're just bending a hook. However, if your hook is big and curvy like that, when you come to measure your stock, it's liable to slip, so you may not have an accurate measurement. So you need a pretty crisp corner on that hook. So let's try and make this a little crisper corner here. You could actually go so far as to do a square upset corner, but I think you don't really need to do that. Something else you can do, though, is slightly offset this just a little bit. That guarantees that that corner isn't in your way. Now when you hook your material you're measuring, it can't slip and slide. It always references the same way. And you probably don't need this long of a hook. I think that would be just fine with about a 1/2 inch hook. But that's all you need for the hook end. And you don't have to do anything to the other end. But I'm going to cool this off, turn it around, and we're going to put a hole in the other end so we can hang it from a nail. Now you could drill a hole in this if you wanted to. But heck, we're blacksmiths. Let's punch a hole. Anvil's still a little cold this morning. That's going to cool down in a hurry. But I think we've got enough heat to get a hole punched. This thin stuff does punch a little bit more difficult than 1/4 inch bar would, but there we have a nice little punched hole. So that's it for a hook ruler. Very simple, very easy thing to make, easy to use, very accurate. I hope you can find some use for one. Make them in a few sizes as you need them. You can always make more. Hope you liked the video. Take a minute to subscribe to the channel down below, and we will see you next time.